Definitely the W, especially if Sophie Cunningham is going to continue to fight people for messing with Caitlin Clark, because it feels like Caitlin Clark is going to get treated in a certain way in this league for a long time. She's not a rookie anymore. Okay? She's already proved herself. She's won. And then there were some, ladies last night that were trying to get a little physical.
Marina Mabrey must have thought she could get away with a cheap shot at Caitlin Clark like it was just another day, but she didn't count on Sophie Cunningham. Indiana's very own enforcer wasn't having any of it, keeping eyes on everything from across the court. If Caitlin is the league's golden ticket, then Sophie just signed up as her full-time, no days off bodyguard. If you're riding with Caitlin and Sophie, drop Goat CC and Spicy Sophie in the comments. Let's go.
Marina Mabrey, who knocked Caitlin Clark down. I don't like these cheap shots, though. She got gouged in the eye. Cheap shots can't be happening, and it always happens. No. Caitlin is certainly going to be a storyline. She's a star. She's a dog. And WNBA seemingly on the rise.
This wasn't your average chippy moment, and it wasn't just about the foul. What went down on that court was a primetime message. Disrespect Caitlin Clark, and you won't just hear about it from the refs or the league. You'll hear it loud and clear from Sophie Cunningham. Caitlin didn't flinch. She let her game do the talking, raining logo threes like missile strikes, while Sophie made it crystal clear mess around and find out.
Last year, I think something we noticed, and I think a lot of people noticed, is when Caitlin would get bullied, nobody would do nothing.
That's right.
Nobody would do nothing. It was like, hey, they didn't know, like, whoa, I can't believe this is happening. I can't believe people are doing this to Caitlin Clark. Teammates weren't jumping in there. They bring in Sophie Cunningham. I had no idea. Sophie Cunningham was a black belt at the age of 6.
Yeah. Yep.
Boom!
Wow.
JC Sheldon, that's cute. You want to poke her in the eye, then push her into a boom Mabrey thing? Go ahead. I'll take a take foul, and you'll eat the deck a little bit here. And then we'll get it. I love it.
Let's rewind to where this circus started. JC Sheldon, yes, the same one with a growing list of questionable plays, decided to add an eye gouge to her collection. She went straight for Caitlin Clark's face like she was checking for rebounds in her cornea. There was nothing subtle, nothing remotely basketball about it. It was a clear, intentional jab, and anyone with eyes saw it for exactly what it was.
Caitlin Clark was just assaulted. Bad. This is the worst one ever, bro. She was literally poked in the eye, then pushed to the ground by Marina Mabrey.
But things went from bad to worse when Marina Mabrey jumped into the chaos. While Caitlin was still shaking off the eye poke, Mabrey came flying in and leveled her with a hit more fitting for a hockey rink than a basketball court.
Marina Mabrey basically just did what Kennedy Carter did on a whole nother level.
And guess what? The fan cam caught every second of it clear as day. A full body shove sent Caitlin crashing to the floor like she'd just been blindsided in an NFL playoff game. This wasn't tough defense, this was straight up targeted aggression.
The Fever and the Connecticut Sun got into it a little bit last night. Obviously, it all started with an eye gouge into a knockdown from JC Sheldon.
Caitlin is up there with the MVP, probably with Big Feast out in Minnesota.
I don't like these cheap shots, though. She got gouged in the eye.
Yeah, big time.
Gouged in the eye. Marina Mabrey, who knocks her down.
Mabrey just goes and shoves her onto the ground. Marina Mabrey, this is ridiculous.
Then came Pat McAfee, and you know he doesn't hold back. On his show, he broke it down frame by frame and called it like it is. That ain't basketball, he said, almost laughing in disbelief. That's a straight-up assault on the league's #1 draw. He even joked that Caitlin might need protective goggles just to survive the season. His panel just as fired up. There was no debate, everyone agreed. This wasn't about competition anymore. It was personal.
I don't like the blindside cheap shot. I don't like the poke in the eye, but I don't mind the
physicality.
Yeah, I don't mind a little bit of like competitive, how you doing, keep it moving, especially at the WNBA with how much is at stake. You know, right now they're at a pivotal time.
Yep.
There's a CBA coming up, I think. I believe there is some sort, because remember they were talking about holding out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
You're
so there is some sort, I believe there is a CBA coming up. So it's like there's an opportunity now. What is the pivotal time? It's like having good basketball, good, having cheap shots, not good, probably.
If you've been watching the season, you already know this isn't Caitlin's first run-in with dirty play. She's been elbowed, shoved, tripped, taunted, and body-checked more times than any rookie should ever have to endure. And the worst part, her own team has mostly just stood by and shrugged it off.
Mind you, JC Sheldon has been hitting Caitlyn in the face all game, fouling all game. The refs don't care. The refs act like their whistles are broke. She's fouling her nonstop again, hits her in the face.
Until now, Caitlyn had been taking hits with little backup, but this time was different. This time, she had Sophie. And Sophie didn't just show up to play, she came with fire. When Sheldon and Mabrey tried to rough Caitlyn up, Sophie didn't wait for the whistle. She snapped into action. With a war cry loud enough to make courtside fans check their phones, she got in faces, planted her feet, and dared anyone to cross that line again. It wasn't retaliation, it was enforcement. As Pat McAfee put it best, you swing at Clark, you're hitting the floor. Sophie's not just a teammate, she's a goon in the best possible way. And honestly, that's exactly what this team's been missing. Every great player had that enforcer. Jordan had Rodman, Steph has Draymond, now Caitlyn has Sophie.
Sophie Cunningham coming in there too.
She was barking the whole time too underneath the hoop at that.
When she was grabbing the head.
Is that like who she is? She's like an enforcer?
Yeah.
Yeah, it feels like she was potentially brought in like a James Johnson type role for Tyrese Halliburton. And it's like, thank God. I think this is a good play, not a bad play.
You always need some. I don't know if they still call them. You need some goons on your team for sure, especially when you have a star like that. Yeah, when you have the golden goose, just like MJ was, when you had his teammates who would kind of protect him at times when the dirtbag Detroit Pistons had those MJ rules. So this is what the greats are gonna go through. Candace Parker kind of went through this. She came in the league, but yeah, Caitlyn Clark's gonna continue to deal with it, and she's a dog.
Sophie's presence flipped the entire vibe on the court. Her refusal to back down lit a spark that spread like wildfire. You could see it on the Fever bench. They weren't just watching anymore. They were locked in. They believed. And Caitlyn, she stood taller, smiled bigger, and drilled her signature deep three, no hesitation, right in Sheldon's face. Then she turned to the Suns bench and let the trash talk fly.
And drop it with no hesitation. Last night, double team, step back, sideways. How you doing? Keep it moving. Then, how about her to the bench afterwards with a...
You like that?
Yeah, it was you like that, but that last one right here, this is a... Get to it. Get to it. Get to it. The punch is I'm the one.
This was the moment fans had been waiting on for months. People have been pleading for anyone to finally stand up for Caitlyn Clark, to stop letting these cheap shots slide without consequence. Sophie didn't just stand up, she drew a bold line in permanent marker and dared them. Try that again and see what happens.
I mean, she's a needle mover, and she's got an enforcer on the team now, and a black belt having Sophie Cunningham. Don't look now, the Fever about to win WNBA title, just like they're about to win the Commissioner's Cup.
What's more, this wasn't some random emotional outburst. Sophie was calculated. Every step, every word, every hard screen was intentional. She was daring the league to keep ignoring what's been happening. Sophie's not just protecting Caitlyn, she's shifting the entire energy in Indiana. She's rewriting the Fever's identity from quiet underdogs to fearless enforcers.
She's one. She's a needle mover.
Caitlyn is the one.
No comparison to Caitlyn Clark. Caitlyn Clark is the most watched basketball player in world basketball right now. There's nobody that does what Caitlyn Clark does.
She's the biggest basketball star in the world.
How special and rare Caitlyn Clark is.
The impact on Caitlyn was instant. You could see it in how she played the rest of the game, fearless, locked in, untouchable. She moved with the kind of freedom we hadn't seen since her college days. That's what having someone like Sophie in your corner does. It lets you play without constantly looking over your shoulder. This wasn't just a win on the scoreboard, it was a cultural reset. A loud, undeniable wake-up call to the league. If you come for Caitlyn now, you're going through Sophie first. And good luck with that. The days of Caitlyn being pushed around are done. Marina Mabrey learned that the hard way. You can throw elbows and sneaky shoves all you want, but when Sophie's locked in, she's not just playing ball. She's guarding a legacy in the making.
Caitlyn Clark, Marina Mabrey, Tina Charles were assessed with technical fouls on Tuesday. Caitlyn, Marina, and Tina Charles. Technical fouls. That's it. Technical fouls. That's it. And JC Sheldon was assessed with a flagrant 1 foul, and no players were ejected.
The way Caitlyn Clark handled everything thrown at her that night, legendary, doesn't even begin to describe it. After taking that cheap shot, she didn't flinch, didn't complain to the refs, didn't even blink. She just walked it off, stayed laser-focused, and waited like a sniper for her moment. And when it came, she delivered. Double-teamed, fading sideways, off balance, and still knocked down a 3 from the logo like it was nothing but a warm-up.
Fever know that they're targets.
Yeah.
Caitlin understands it at this point. And I love that she is yet to waver. It's just like, we're singular focus of next game, I'm getting better.
Boom. No hesitation, no apologies, just pure buckets. Then came the stare dead into the Connecticut Sun bench, as if to say, still think I'm soft. No words, just raw intensity. Fire in her eyes, a defiant chest thump, and that unforgettable glare that screamed, "You like that?" And in case anyone missed the message, she sealed it with a primal yell and a pounding of the chest. "I'm the one." It wasn't just a highlight, it was a statement. A warning shot to every coach, player, and critic. You can throw dirt on me, but I'll grow right through it.
She just texts me. She never texts me during the game.
All right. Here is Clark splashing home a 3 from way downtown. Kelly escorting her back to the bench.
JC Sheldon is there with her hand in her face.
Pat McAfee completely lost it. On air, you could feel the electricity coming through the screen as he broke down the moment frame by frame. Caitlin's swagger, the ice in her veins, the way she lives for pressure, it all hit different. He didn't just call her a dog. He called her that dog. Not the overused kind of praise, he meant it in the legendary sense. MJ, Kobe, Steph. And now, Caitlin's name belongs right there with them. But what made it truly powerful wasn't just the scoring, it was the presence. The attitude. Last season, Caitlin tried to play it safe. She took the hits, stayed quiet, and followed the unwritten rules. But this year, that switch flipped. She's not adapting to the WNBA anymore, she's redefining it on her own terms.
Hey.
I mean, is that displacement? I think it is.
Oh, and Marina Mabrey is going to get ejected. If the officials saw that, Marina Mabrey is going to get ejected.
Well, they're going to go and look at it. Look at Mabrey. She's got a scar on one side, a scratch on one side of her face, a scratch on the other side. It's not from the game today. I asked her about it. She's always in the mix. There's a lot of contact here. There's a scrape across the face. That's what Clark didn't like.
Every 3 Caitlin Clark sinks is more than just points on the board, it's a statement. Every logo shot, a cultural reset. She's not just shooting, she's shifting gravity. Defenders stretch to guard her. The floor opens up, and her teammates finally have room to operate. And when defenses collapse, she fires off passes like lasers threading needles with vision most players can't even imagine. As Pat McAfee said, those passes are so sharp, all her teammates have to do is catch and finish. But it's not just the fans catching on. The media, players, even league execs, they're all seeing it. Caitlin Clark isn't just part of the WNBA. She's shaping it, not with trash talk, but with impact. Every time she steps on the floor, she is the game. The lights shine brighter when she's out there. The energy shifts. Viewership climbs. Caitlin Clark doesn't play under the spotlight. She is the spotlight.
The Indiana Fever fans were chanting, "Sophie, Sophie." Sophie's jersey is going to sell out tonight. She's going to be in the All-Star game tonight just from this one play because she was standing on business. It wasn't a dirty play. It was an intentional foul and it was meant to send a message. It turned into a scuffle and I don't think anybody wanted that.
Let's be real, this isn't just hype. This is the start of a legacy, and Caitlin Clark is building it brick by brick, 3 by 3, stare down after stare down. The cheap shots, the hacks, the haters, it's all fuel. Every time someone tries to throw her off, she rises even higher. This fire, this drama, this rivalry, it's exactly what's lighting up the league. And with Sophie Cunningham riding shotgun, good luck stopping them. Marina Mabrey and JC Sheldon thought their sneak attacks would rattle Caitlin. All they did was throw gasoline on a raging fire. Caitlin didn't flinch. Didn't fold, she fired back with cold-blooded daggers that silenced the crowd, froze the bench, and shook the league. And Sophie, she made sure that warning was delivered with backup loud and clear.
When the officials don't get control of the ball game, when they allow that stuff to happen, and it's been happening all season long. All season long. It's not just this game, it's been happening all season long. This is what happens, right? This is what happens. You've got competitive women who are the best in the world at what they do, right? And when you allow them to play physical and you allow these things to happen, they're going to compete. And they're going to have their teammates' backs. It's exactly what you expect, right? Out of fierce competition. So I started talking to the officials in the first quarter, and we knew this was going to happen. You could tell it was going to happen. So they got to get control of it. They got to be better.
Let's be real, this isn't just hype. This is the start of a legacy, and Caitlin Clark is building it brick by brick, 3 by 3, stare down after stare down. The cheap shots, the hacks, the haters, it's all fuel. Every time someone tries to throw her off, she rises even higher. This fire, this drama, this rivalry, it's exactly what's lighting up the league. And with Sophie Cunningham riding shotgun, good luck stopping them. Marina Mabrey and JC Sheldon thought their sneak attacks would rattle Caitlin. All they did was throw gasoline on a raging fire. Caitlin didn't flinch, didn't fold, she fired back with cold-blooded daggers that silenced the crowd, froze the bench, and shook the league. And Sophie, she made sure that warning was delivered with backup loud and clear.